Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Interesting things going on with Bud Light, with Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch.
They've got a cool ad campaign. I know that much.
It's really cool.
So
they have
good.
a trans man, a trans woman, used to be a man, now considers himself a woman.
Please dress up.
And he's in a bubble bath talking about how the one I saw was involving March Madness, which the trans person claimed they didn't know anything about, didn't care about, which I think most beer drinkers are like that, don't you? I think they don't know sports, which is why Bud Light advertises so much during sporting events. They're trying to draw people to sports so they can learn about it. I mean, it's just so stupid. Bud Light Vice President of Marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid.
Yeah, she's been doing a really good job in her new role as VP of Marketing.
Well, she said it was in decline. The brand was in decline for a long time, and she needed a more inclusive direction that's less fratty. So less like a frat house, I guess.
Yeah. In other words, we have this formula that's worked for over a century.
Yeah.
But we're going to need to pull back on that now.
Yeah. We're going to need to stop doing things that were successful because it's down a little bit. Well, she fixed that.
Yes, she did.
Because now it's down a lot. Just unreal.
Yeah, so their market cap went from, what was it, $32 billion to $28 billion in the last week?
Well, it lost, the numbers we had, it went from 65 to 62 or something, so it lost $3 a share, which probably amounts to about $4 or $5 billion, yeah.
Hang on a second. No, hang on. Let's see. It was $132 billion, went down to $128 billion.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Good job in that new role of yours. You're really
job.
doing awesome for
Nice.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
So, sales of Anheuser-Busch bottled products dropped 30% over the past week. 30% in a week, while draft beer plummeted 50%. That's crazy. Now, is that overall or... Let's see, Bud Light maker Anheuser-Busch, headquartered in St. Louis. And then the very next sentence is what I just read to you. But then they start talking about a specific location. Bud Light normally outsells rival products Miller Lite and Coors Light 25-1. 25-1.
Okay, that's all right.
At Braintree Brew House in Massachusetts, a sprawling bar just outside Boston. Okay. So it's not broken. Why are you trying to fix it? It's not broken.
No kidding. By the way, remember how I said I'd seen that commercial, Coors Light, guy gets in the bathtub and watches sports?
Yeah.
Apparently I missed, and somebody tweeted at me, apparently I missed a substantial portion of that commercial. And I guess the beginning of it is he waits until his wife is done in the bathroom, and she had taken a bath with candles and stuff, and then he gets in. Anyway, the person who reached out to me was just like, yeah, it's totally not what you thought it was. I thought it was the opposite,
okay.
He's like, no, it's very feminine and all this stuff. It's like, my gosh, can we leave guys alone, please?
Yeah, I know. That's true.
Let dudes be. But that's just it. We've spent how many generations now feminizing men to, I guess we're at the inevitable outcome now for people like Dylan.
Men and talking about masculinity being toxic.
Yeah, so now people, that's the fertile ground where a Dylan Mulvaney has now sprouted and flourished. Yay.
Right. So anyway, in this brew house in Massachusetts, where Bud Light normally outsells Miller Lite and Coors Light 25-1, not this week. 80% of Bud Light drinkers ordered something else at the brew house.
Yeah, this is
according to the owner.
At some point, all the anecdotal stuff adds up into just reality.
And he says, while the 20% who did order Bud Light weren't on social media and hadn't heard yet about its new pitch person. So who knows how much this is going to affect him. I think you chose the wrong product to do this with, to do this diversity garbage with. It is just asinine. The people are bending over backwards and just, changing their entire way of doing business because they want to be diverse. And, if diversity works out, that's great, but it should, be based in merit, right? If the best people, who cares? If it's a trans person who's the best possible person to pitch Bud Light, great. Hire that person to pitch Bud Light. But the thing is, you should probably know your audience, and you should probably use your noodle a little bit before you start willy-nilly changing everything about a successful brand.
Is it more or less offensive? I'm surprised that when the dude was sponsoring Tampax, that our society didn't go, all right, stop.
Right. Yeah.
When there was no outcry over that, but there is over this beer company. Yeah. You're like,
I know.
How was that not the one, the straw that broke the camel's back? When a dude is talking about Tampax as his brand of choice.
It tells you where we are as a society and a civilization.
It's a mockery
doesn't it?
of women, and it's disgusting. And it's, I don't know where this train goes. It's already off the tracks. Now it's just careening up the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for impact.
And we've had so many derailments already. Apparently, we've got a couple more coming
I know.
that are on the way.
It's not even newsworthy anymore.
I know.
It's just like, oh, another train went off the tracks. Oh, I see. It's 4:00. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. All right. What this one spill?
Yeah.
What kind of toxic, hazardous waste has been dumped all over a countryside or an urban area?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got more crazy burning fires all over the country.
Yeah, and more food plants being burned.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on with that?
See, I got to thinking it could easily be sabotage. It could. But you know what? We play videos of idiots. These people presumably have jobs.
Presumably.
Not all of them. A lot of them have figured out how to cash government checks and scam beer companies and feminine products as advertisers for their little YouTube presence. But we're surrounded by stupid people. This could just be incompetence. This could just be idiocracy playing out in real time. Setting fires and setting toxic chemicals on fire. So, yeah, there we go. That's Richmond, Indiana yesterday with a recyclables plant.
Jeez.
And I don't know, play the video from these are different angles from around town. And so there you go. There's just different views there.
Looks really bad.
It sure does. These guys are playing golf here, and look at this, man. This is like apocalyptic. Look at that. Oh my gosh! And this goes on and on. So, this is just a montage of different views around town there in Richmond, Indiana. But this was a recyclables plant that someone improperly. I guess they were stored or something improperly. I don't know. And
it went up.
It's gonna happen. And then do we have the dairy farm in Texas? I still don't know. Do we know what caused that one? Do you have that video from Texas? Yeah, there's the dairy farm the other day. So that's good.
Wow.
But it's...
Wow.
Let's see. Thousands of dairy cows likely killed. Worker injured. Explosion at Texas farm. Again, this could very easily be sabotage.
Yeah.
But it could also be we're just surrounded by people who don't know what they're doing.
Entirely possible. In fact, likely. Perhaps likely.
Yeah, we still don't know the
really
cause
bad,
of that
though.
fire there in the Panhandle.
We should do a little research and figure out how many plants, how many food plants, processing plants, places where food is processed.
There's a list out there.
It's in the hundreds, I know.
I think the only competition for that list now, as what list could be longer, is the Clinton kill list. I think that's the only
it's slightly longer.
These food processing plants being destroyed.
Right.
Oh, what a mess.
Yesterday, we had the clip of the always incoherent Joe Biden, unable to answer a simple question when it came to whether or not he's running for president again in 2024. So last night...
No, wait, can we see? I want to see this again. This is just too good. It's too good.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushed them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
I plan on running now, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
All right.
Okay. So
That's great.
So he's talking about laying eggs.
Yeah, or rolling them out.
No, he's talking about laying eggs. Yeah.
Let me hear it again.
And then watch Jill on this. Watch Jill. She realizes, oh no, this is a big issue here. This answer is going to be terrible. And watch her trying to get in front of him like, bro, what are you doing? Watch this.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
Pushing them out
he's talking
of his body. He is. Oh my God.
All right. Well,
He is so horrible at life.
Oh my gosh. I that didn't hit me the first or second.
It just
third
did click
time.
with me. I didn't
Just
catch
hit
it
me.
yesterday.
Wow. So last night, Donald Trump was on with Tucker Carlson, where he was asked about Biden in 2024.
Do you think Biden will stay in the race?
Look, I watch him just like you do. And I think it's almost inappropriate for me to say it. I don't see how it's possible. But there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I saw his answer today on television about whether or not he was going to run to a very nice guy named Al Roker.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can't get a softer question than that. That was a long answer talking about the eggs and the this and that. Look, I don't think he can.
I don't think he can. He put it pretty gently.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he was
especially
a
for
statesman.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump was so good in this
diplomatic
interview.
there.
Last night was so good. I mean, this is the Trump we love.
This is how he should always be. Just controlled, still speaking your mind, but you're under control.
It was an excellent interview.
And you're presidential. That is really critical for him, I think. So that was really nicely done. But he also discussed what the biggest threats are to the United States this year in 2023. And obviously, I mean, first thing that's got to come out of his mouth, is going to be white supremacy. Am I right?
Yeah.
So here he is.
I often say, they said to me the other day, one of your fellow journalists said, who's the biggest problem, sir? Is it China? Could it be Russia? Could it be North Korea? No, I said, the biggest problem is from within. It's these sick, radical people from within, because we can handle, if we're smart, we can handle Russia, China.
Yeah.
I did. I took in billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars from China. No other president took in anything, and they respected me. He's the same thing, I told him, you can't go into Taiwan. You can't do it. I won't tell you exactly what I said, but it was something that probably a lot of people wouldn't like if they heard it, but it was very tough. Don't go into Taiwan. If you do, we're going to have problems. Other than that, we're going to be great relationship. We're going to have a great relationship. And he said to me when I said we're going to do something, if he goes in, no, you wouldn't do it. I'll do that. I swear I'll do that. And he didn't believe me, but he believed me 10%. The same thing with Putin. I said I was going to do something really nasty if he goes into Ukraine. He said, no, you're not going to do that. I said, I will. And he didn't believe me either, but he believed me 10%. And the 10%, you never heard talk about going into Ukraine. You never heard talk about going into Taiwan until I was no longer there. Now, what a mess the world is in.
Wow.
I believe all that.
So true. Yeah, I do too. I do too. Really good interview with Tucker Carlson last night. That is a potential president.
I mean that's the Trump we love.
Yep.
Right there in that interview.
That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. And that's the one that could calm people down about how, crazy he is. He's too nuts. He is calm, collected, telling you It's America first, and I'm not going to put up with these other countries. But through strength, we stopped these people when I was in office.
Yeah.
It's a great message, and it's really true. And that's what they respond to, by the way. Strength. They don't respond to weakness. Like, we're going to sit here and do nothing while you guys run all over the rest of the planet. Take Ukraine. You can take Taiwan. We're not going to do anything about it. That's not going to work.
It's a night and day. The differences between a Donald Trump and a Joe Biden, and the rest of the world recognizes that, and they're taking advantage of it right now.
And when you do present strength like that, then you don't have to send $250 billion to Ukraine to defend themselves, because Russia never goes in the first place.
Oh, quick mention here. Janet Yellen said yesterday that we're going to be giving money to Ukraine for, well, she said to quote, Joe Biden, as long as it takes, but she's talking about going in even when the conflict is over. We're going in. What? We're giving them money
we rebuild,
to rebuild. It's like we didn't break the place.
I know.
Stop it.
I know.
Stop it. Oh, it's madness.
How about Russia ponying up all the cash to rebuild Ukraine, since they're the ones who broke it? How about that? Man, but it's going to be us. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. If you're trying to sell your home, this is a really challenging time. A couple of years ago, it was such a great seller's market. Things have changed, and it's pretty volatile. So sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. You got the interest rates to worry about. So you need a realtor who can take a lot of these things off your plate. Do you need to repaint your house? Do you need to remodel? Will it be worth it? Will you get your money out of certain remodel efforts? These are the people you need to turn to. They're going to give you great service. They're going to see it through from start to finish. This is Glenn's company, so it's really important to him and the team that you're treated really well and that you've got the best in the business working on your behalf. That's Real Estate Agents I Trust. You're going to partner yourself with a competitive winning machine. It's a team of people who are going to see it through to the very end for you and with you. Real Estate Agents I Trust. RealestateAgentsITrust.com. So we're talking about people's perceptions of Joe Biden. We just heard from Donald Trump. How about John Kennedy again?
Yeah. So what did we play yesterday about his approval rating? It was the John Kennedy clip.
If people like him as much as Jock Itch or something?
Yeah. So from that same interview, there's another nugget that everybody sent me that we have to play here. Watch this.
President Biden has another year and a half to discover new and innovative ways to suck.
I just love him so much.
That's great stuff. I mean, maybe we go for John Kennedy for president. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He'd be entertaining, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Just as entertaining as Trump is.
President Biden has another year and a half to discover new and innovative ways to suck.
Oh, man. Buckle up, y'all. He's right.
Awesome. And then, speaking of Trump again, over the weekend, Saturday Night Live did a bit where they mocked the radicals on the left who are so incredibly giddy over Trump being indicted in Manhattan.
Yeah, how long is this, by the way? I don't know if you want to play this whole thing, but it's really good.
All right, let's
2 minutes long? Oh, okay, cool. 2 minutes, that's good.
Sure, Trump got indicted, but now everyone says the case against him is weak and that he'll never serve any jail time. As someone whose entire personality is hating Donald Trump, you need more. You need to feel calm and reassured. You need the newest meditation app, CN Zen. The only app that suits even the most militant liberals, with sensual details from Trump's arrest, featuring your favorite CNN anchors and correspondents.
He's the first American president to ever be indicted. This is truly a historic and humiliating moment.
Trump is a sad, defeated man. They made him come from Florida, where it's 80 degrees, to New York, where it's only 60 degrees. How depressing for him.
And his motorcade wasn't even that big. I thought it would be bigger, but it was so small.
Donald was all alone. No family or friends to support him. I shouldn't say this as a journalist, but what a loser.
Let New York Times reporter Maggie Haberman soothe you to sleep.
This is his worst nightmare, and he's really freaking out because now he knows there are consequences. Consequences.
You can also listen to clips of Trump and his allies desperately spiraling.
Please, Donald J. Trump is an innocent man and he needs your help. Send him all your money today at DonaldJTrumpRU/fundraisingscam.guilty.
Trump's next court appearance won't be till at least December. That's why CNN has a whole section of Trump indictment ASMR.
Can you hear him getting fingerprinted? And the DA opening his big leather briefcase. Ooh, and the little gavel from the judge. I wonder if you'll even hear handcuffs.
With additional in-app purchases, like audio erotica of District Attorney Alvin Bragg reading all 34 felony counts.
Count 1, falsifying business records in the first degree. Count 2, falsifying business records in the first degree. Count 3, falsifying business.
I hope this couch isn't as flimsy as the DA's case.
CNN, because you waited 7 years for this indictment, and you want every delicious detail.
And what ethnicity is Trump's judge again?
Hispanic.
CNN. In your mind, he's already in jail.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's funny. And, they actually made fun of the left.
Yeah. Isn't that something? Isn't that something?
How about that?
And you've got the district attorney, Alvin Bragg, suing Jim Jordan. I love... What is the one thing that the left always attaches when they want to make a point or make a case or draw it into a federal realm? They always talk about how it was federal funds were used, so we can... Well, that's what Jim Jordan is saying. Oh, you're using federal funds, so we're going to talk to you about your election interference here. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. There's so many fronts in this thing, and like that bit even reminded us, there's not any movement on this again until December at the earliest.
Jeez.
So this is definitely...
they're trying to time it out for the election getting underway. For the campaign to elect the president, they want to do this the entire time. The entire time he's trying to, raise funds and run for president, they're going to be doing this.
Yeah, if you thought 2016 was unpredictable,
oh man,
2024 is going to be crazy. I honestly, with RFK Jr. running, if it's Biden up there with RFK Jr., I mean, the Democrat primary is going to be interesting too. I think the polling right now is 70-10, Biden over Kennedy, but.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical.
It's early.
Of this point.
It's early.
Do I think Robert Kennedy Jr. has a prayer against Biden? No, I don't.
You don't?
I really don't.
Oh, I do.
Really?
I really do.
I think the left is really pissed off at him now for even daring to do this.
Yeah.
And they don't like his vaccine talk, which is so interesting because if you think back again to 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, when everybody was talking about whether or not Trump was going to be able to deliver a vaccine, that's the last thing in the world that Democrats wanted. Now they're all about it suddenly, and they don't like anybody who speaks against it at all, says anything negative about it. So the RFK Jr. thing is really going to be interesting.
He's got some good things to say.
He does. And it's about time somebody says them, on that front. Somebody who has a national forum, somebody who they don't think is, a right-wing kook.
Well, he just gave a speech at Hillsdale College.
Wow.
And
that's interesting.
Really good stuff in there. I'd encourage people to check out, too.
When Hillsdale College invites a lefty like that to speak, wow. It's interesting, though, because a few of them have had their common sense bells ringing in their head for a while, like Bill Maher, like RFK Jr., and they see these things, and they understand that they're wrong, and that the left is so far out of any kind of realm of common sense They've got to say something about it. Yeah. They really, I mean, otherwise, what are you supposed to do? You just close up shop like Whole Foods just did in San Francisco.
Didn't work, huh? Didn't work out.
Whole Foods opened this downtown location in San Francisco 1 year ago.
That's got to be a mecca for liberals and people that don't bathe on a regular basis.
Right.
There in San Francisco, right?
Right, you would think. It would do really well. But no, they're closing it. At least temporarily. It's an enormous store, they say. It's about 65,000 square feet. And it's in the city's mid-market neighborhood.
That sounds hip.
They shut their doors yesterday, or the day before, I guess, to ensure the safety of its employees.
Oh, gosh.
That's how bad things are in San Francisco. You can't go to work and feel fairly confident that you're not going to be mugged or stabbed.
And they say this is a temporary close?
Yeah.
Do they think it's magically going to get better there in San Francisco?
I don't know how they could think that because it's not, as long as it's under Democrat control.
How long is it going to be closed? That food in there is going to... You're going to have to completely replenish your stock if you keep it closed for more than a week or two.
Right. Right. So it's been heralded as a flagship store since the opening 1 year ago.
Wow.
It was one of the largest supermarkets downtown. The store sold 3,700 local products, was designed with nods to classic San Francisco. So it really tried to be...
Yeah.
Like, just a local...
A local national.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Right.
Cool. All right, well, that's what you get for building in San Francisco.
Crazy. So what are you going to do about that now? Our neighborhood waited a long time for this supermarket, but we're also well aware of the problems they've experienced with drug-related retail theft, adjacent drug markets, and the many safety issues related to them. Apparently, when you go into the bathroom, you find syringes all over the place. And, they got a homeless issue where homeless are attacking people who are walking into the store.
Maybe they'll get a Walmart, right? Because Walmart's doing well in big cities, right?
Other than closing 4 Chicago stores.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Because they're part of a local group of locations that's losing tens of millions of dollars because nobody wants to go there. Yeah, it's too dangerous.
That's just it. How do you not make money at a Walmart?
I know.
You put it inside a major American city. And this story doesn't say, the press release from Walmart doesn't say specifically, but what's the last paragraph or whatever that's highlighted there? I don't know. This is about as close as they get. And you tell me if I'm just reading into it too much. It's got to be theft, right? It's got to be.
I would think so, yeah. Walmart said it has tried different strategies to improve the business performance of its Chicago stores, but these efforts, quote, have not materially improved the fundamental business challenges our stores are facing.
What's the business challenge,
We're
Pat?
being robbed blind.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Yes. And that leads us to another closing. This one in Portland.
Well, this isn't a closing. This is just another beautiful American city that's going down the crapper.
Yeah. There's a Portland. There's a couple of Portland stories. One, they're perplexed by homeless cabins built along prime riverside real estate locations.
They're so emboldened in Portland, the homeless, that they're building permanent structures on the riverbank.
But also, I don't know how you say this, Kawava Coffee Roasters, which has locations around Portland. They just announced they're closing one of their shops due to a continuous and worsening crime problem that has left the company unable to ensure the safety of its workers and customers. Same problem.
It's the death of the American city playing out all over this country.
This is Portland, where you can't get much more progressive and liberal than that. The team members at this cafe have been on the front line enduring extreme violence and criminal activity on an almost daily basis for the last few years. Crime and violence that's only increasing in frequency and severity. From theft to physical displays of violence, threats of harm, break-ins, window smashing, repeated traumatic in-cafe incidents where both staff and patrons feel unsafe.
Wow. It's...
Other than that, it turned out to be a really good location for them. So they closed it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what's going on in big cities all over the country. $888-933-93. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. God, we got a ton of locations. Might as well go through them now, since I got your attention. YouTube.com/Pat Gray is where you can go for our YouTube channel. And I highly recommend that you do that.
Yeah, it's
Riley's
not just the
doing a
show
great
stuff.
job with that, with the shorts and all of that.
A lot of clips up there.
Rumble.com/Pat Gray Unleashed. Okay. Instagram.com/Pat Unleashed.
Yeah, a lot of stuff there from Riley as well.
And Facebook.com.
And it's not just stuff
/Pat Unleashed
from the show. I mean, this is fresh stuff. You got to go to these socials.
New
to
material. Yes. Okay. And if you missed Off the Record last week,
oh yeah,
you can also find that online, and you can revisit that and see all the fun.
Where would I find that?
You can go to blazetv.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then click on those links. All right. And don't forget, you can find the show on any of the, downloading the podcast platforms. We're everywhere, just like Chicken Man. And so we highly recommend you download the show every day.
Everybody knows that reference,
Watch
right?
it.
The
rate
Chicken
it.
Man reference?
Yeah. I don't know. Where the guy with... Probably not.
No, probably not. Because
now that you pinned me down to it.
He died a few years ago, too, right?
Oh, did he? The Chicken Man voice?
Yeah, I think the Chicken Man died a few years ago.
Do you remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, he did almost every commercial that was produced. The guy was,
that was the joke,
on
right?
fire. Yeah, well, and then the Chicken Man episodes were, he's everywhere, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's been a while.
Everywhere, like
maybe
Chicken
not
Man.
everybody knows the reference. It's just possible.
Maybe not.
It's possible. All right, it's time for a little Jeffy action here. We're about to chew the fat because when you get stuck between the moon and New York City, your name is Jeffy. That much is true. When you get stuck between the moon and New York City, the best that you can do, the best that you can do is chew the fat. Jeffy does as he pleases. All right.
Is that it?
And it pleases him now.
Except for when Amber's home.
To do chewing the fat. Here he is. Thank you. No. Thank you.
WNBA star Brittany Griner, now 32. 6'9", two-time Olympic gold medalist,
6'9",
three-time All-American at Baylor, a prominent advocate for pay equity for women's athletes, and the first openly gay athlete to reach an endorsement deal with Nike. She's preparing a release of a memoir next year about her 2022 arrest in Moscow.
Is there somewhere I can order that in advance? Because I must.
Sorry, you got to
have
wait.
it. I got to be at the front of the line. As soon as that's available, I want it delivered
she
to me.
almost had a 10-month detetion, and the last few weeks of which were spent at a Russian penal colony.
At a Russian what?
Penal colony.
Oh, okay. Weird.
That is weird. Why would they put her there?
Yeah, she didn't choose it. And she said that it was the beginning of an unfathomable period of her life, which only now she's ready to share.
Oh, wow.
So
took some time for healing.
Pat's been having to wait.
Look, it's said to be intimate and moving.
I bet it is. I bet it
she's
is.
going to disclose in vivid detail her heroin experience of her wrongful
She was
detainment.
doing heroin?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's probably not good.
Yes, she would. No. No, actually, I mean, she pled guilty. Hello. So I'm saying. She had canisters of cannabis oil.
What do you want to bet she was convinced by somebody? I don't
plead
know.
guilty?
Yes. If you plead guilty, it's going to go a lot easier, and you'll probably be released. But just admit your guilt. And then that didn't work out so well for her.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you think that she is of the opinion that this would have never happened to her had a man she presumably despises, Donald Trump, were in the White House still?
I'm guessing she didn't give any thought to that. In fact, when she came back, she praised Biden up and down.
Yeah.
She talked about how great Biden was the whole time. What? He let you rot in a prison in Russia for months and did nothing about it. Crazy.
Financial terms were not disclosed, so I don't know how much they're giving her for this fine. This
an
fine
advance?
Work. Yeah, I don't know what she's getting. But, good luck. I mean, she needs the cash. She's been going over to Russia since 2014.
Is she probably not going back?
I probably
my
not.
guess.
I don't know. I don't know that there's actually women's basketball happening in Russia right now. They're a little busy with some other things. I don't know. I mean, she was going over there because they were making like $1 million a year. She was making big money over there. That's why they kept going back.
They paid her that much?
That's what they claim. They claim a lot of those players were going over there to quadruple their money that they were making here in the United States.
Which is only $250,000 a year. Yeah.
That's the highest paid, right?
Yeah.
I
think she was the highest paid in
probably.
the league.
And she just signed another deal with the Phoenix Mercury for another year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how much that was. That's easy enough to find out. But it was. It's not going to be more than a couple 100,000.
165,000.
Yeah, for sure.
165? I mean, not that that's crappy money, but to a professional basketball player, one of the best in the business, and she makes $165,000 a year.
Which is why they go to Russia to play, because they needed the money.
Right. Must be much more popular in Russia, right? Must be.
I mean, okay.
I mean, nobody shows up for the games here. They don't care about it. Although, I will say the NCAA Women's Championship game?
Absolutely huge. Through the roof.
Yeah.
Through the roof. Had, the biggest audience ever. There were, players that brought a lot of people to the table for the women's basketball for the NCAA games.
Right.
So that's good for them. Yeah. That's huge for them.
Yeah.
In a tweet thread, I was tagged in on my Twitter account, at JeffyJFR, a tweet from Lee Firth, at 80SDJ83. I'm not really sure what that means. Lee asked to be fact-checked in his tweet, and I did. And it's partially, it's either partially true or partially false, but it's not 100% true. His tweet, current world population, 8,025,718,113. People born from women, 8,025,718,113. People born from men, 0. Feel free to
Did he carry the 1 though on that? I'll bet he didn't carry the 1. Yeah. He's not a mathematician.
I'm not stepping in here because I'm not good with math.
The population count is incorrect, so he gets a partially true.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What is the population count?
It's not 8,025,000,000.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's more than that.
Oh, it's more?
Yeah.
Wow.
The world-o-meters count has it more than that now. So it's partially true.
It's funny.
Just a reminder to subscribe to my daily podcast, Chewing the Fat. Available wherever you get your podcast, Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Thank you. Officials on Monday reported that a truck hauling 40,000 pounds of contaminated soil from the cleanup site in Ohio. 20,000 pounds of soil spilled on the road and the berm. Okay, so it was coming from East Palestine, and it tipped over. According to the Ohio EPA, the spill was contained and not a threat to nearby waterways. Preliminary investigation revealed that the commercial vehicle was traveling northbound, went off the right side of the roadway, struck a ditch, utility pole, ultimately turned over. It was an open-top trailer. I'm sure it was tarped, though. I mean, we learned on the last Trucker Tuesday that when you were on vacation, if you have an open truck, you got to tarp that load.
Tarp that load.
Got to tarp that load.
Tarp that load.
So the driver suffered minor injuries and was cited for opening a vehicle without reasonable control. Got me thinking, though, which I know is an issue, but where was the truck going? Because not one story that I read mentioned the destination.
Really?
So Norfolk Southern said back in February that the contaminated water is being transported out of the area by truck for disposal at a licensed disposal facility. And the contaminated soil will be transported away from the site to an appropriately permitted facility once all approvals are received. So I guess it must be, and I'm assuming it was, being taken to an appropriately permitted facility. Okay, great. But where? No story said where it was going. Now, there are 3 types of landfills municipal, industrial, and hazardous. So this contaminated soil would be heading to a hazardous landfill. It's not the ones that we take our garbage to. Now, as of last year, we should have this chart. New Jersey is the home to the most hazardous waste sites in the United States with 115, followed by California with 96 and Pennsylvania with 90. This chart has each state plus the District of Columbia, or at least there should be a chart, but apparently there isn't.
And the chart is?
North Dakota has 0. North Dakota is the only state that has 0. All right. So by my chewing the fat figuring, we have 1,311 sites here in the U.S., hazardous sites, not to mention the 1,334 Superfund sites.
Oh.
Those are separate. So if the contaminated soil wasn't going to one of those sites, I'm thinking that would be an even bigger issue. So
by the way, the chart was really informative.
Thank you.
I'm really glad you worked. You worked hard on that.
Got that in.
Obviously,
got that in. I wanted you to see
the chart looks just like you, as a matter of fact, Jeffy.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I can't hold it up now because I don't have the picture of the chart on my phone. Apparently, we didn't have the chart on.
Do you have a map of where some of the Superfund locations are? You do have a map, right?
I do.
Somewhere?
I know that in Michigan.
Right. Okay.
Michigan, right? Speaking of Michigan, Michigan has some hazardous waste sites
right about there. Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Yes.
Here.
All
That's
right.
3.
And here.
Wow.
But not
okay.
so much here.
And where is that in relation to Detroit?
Detroit's down here.
Okay.
Detroit's right.
All right. So it's a ways from the major population
This is where I grew up, the Tri-Cities.
Okay.
Up here, and then you get up into the thumb.
Yeah. The Michigan thumb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So good. All right.
I was born, they're in Tuscola County. It's up there.
All right. Let me take a minute to tell you about something really important. Preborn. We were trying to raise money for an ultrasound machine. We wanted to buy them the full machine, and not just an ultrasound for a person, which is $28, but the full $15,000 to get one of these machines. We did that way ahead of time and ahead of schedule, thanks to you and your generosity, and we thank you so much for that. So, since our goal was to do this by Mother's Day, we thought, well, let's do another one. So. We need your help now to provide another one to Preborn. Go to preborn.com/Pat, enter Pat Head Machine, and your donation will go directly to that cause. Okay? It's so great, and we're so thankful to your efforts so far. But if you haven't given, you've got another chance. Preborn.com/Pat, or you could dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. Pound 250, keyword baby. We'll keep you updated on the progress of machine number 2.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank
what
you
an
so much.
incredible audience.
Yeah, it's
so giving.
Amazing.
Giving life.
So, preborn.com/Pat.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And more Chewing the Fat with Jeffy.
You did that Preborn commercial, and I did get an email who said to all of us at chewingthefat@theblaze.com from Jacob, who said that he had come across an extra $1,200 and he didn't know what to do with it, so he donated it to the Preborn.
Very cool.
So thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it very much.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. We have time for this story. Anything for business. You know that. I mean, that really should be the title of maybe one of my books. A Minnesota man has spent more than $170,000 on 2 leg lengthening surgeries in a bid to make himself more attractive to the ladies. Anything for business. Moses Gibson, 41, said he long struggled to get a girlfriend due to his 5'5" frame.
Yeah, 5'5". That's.
I just didn't feel good about myself, and so he thinks that he was subjected to heightism.
Well, of course he was. Especially with the ladies.
Nobody, this is right.
The ladies don't want to be taller than their man.
So Gibson began, taking pills that he procured over the internet that promised to make him taller. That's not what those pills promise. Okay, it's not about height, my friend. Okay, anyway, he decided that then, you know what? I'm going to go to a spiritual healer who told him he could increase his height if he properly put his mind to it. Apparently that didn't work.
Oh, darn it.
I know. He didn't put his mind to it enough.
When
you did?
I thought it was going to work. I thought that was going to be the punchline of the story, but no.
No.
Huh.
So the self-described go-getter saved $75,000 for the surgery over the course of 3 years. I remember talking about this guy back in 2016 because he wanted to add 3 inches to his height, which he did, taking him to 5'8".
Oh.
But then he realized,
and
you
that
know
was,
what?
How did he do that? Was that with surgery?
Yeah, the leg lengthening surgery.
That probably is fairly painful.
Yes, it is.
I would guess.
Yes, it is. But he decided, hey, I'm 5'8" now. You know what else? I need to be a little bit taller for the ladies. So he saved $98,000 for a second surgery, which he hopes is going to add 2, maybe 3 inches. 2 to 3 inches.
He could be as tall as 5'11" at the end of this process.
So they broke his tibia and his fibula bones and then screwed magnetic limb lengthening nails into them. He uses a height lengthening device 3 times a day in order to pull the cut bone apart a millimeter at a time.
It's not worth it, man. No.
Well,
it's for the ladies. Now, are you kidding? Anything for business, man. Always adding inches for business is an important factor.
Okay.
We don't. We don't have time for the animal videos. Chewing the fat. Subscribe.
Wait, what
rate,
kind of videos?
And review. I've got a couple of animal videos just for you, Keith.
Well,
but there's no time.
What do you mean there's no time?
There's no time.
We got no time.
Got no time.
Pang Fa?
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, see, this is Pang Fa, who is the elephant, first of its kind footage of the elephant that can peel a banana.
Doesn't want the skin.
No, it doesn't. When it's
let me see that.
There you go. Okay, it's going to slow it down for you here. Pang Fa in the Moscow, cool. in the Berlin Zoo. No one supports zoos more than me or chewing the fat. So this is from the Berlin Zoo. And Pang Fa, this is 4 times slow motion. Now you can watch Pang Fa peel the banana.
With his trunk.
With his trunk, yeah. It's awesome. He twists his trunk around itself, breaks the banana by ripping off the stem end, throws the rest on the ground, then picks up the banana again, pinching the frayed peel with her trunk, and the banana's weight peels the fruit.
Look at that.
Interesting.
That's fascinating.
That is
so
cool.
there you go. That's the first of its kind footage of
what
Pang
a
Fa.
smart elephant, huh?
And plus, he doesn't. Pang Fa doesn't like the overripe bananas.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
They gave Pang the overripe bananas. She throws it back at the keeper.
Good for her.
Get this trash out of here.
Nice.
I want this. So pretty incredible.
That is incredible.
Pretty incredible.
That's amazing.
That's just one of the reasons I support zoos.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here
I
on the
am.
Blaze Radio Network.
And thank you for being here with us. 888-900-3393, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. They've done a study, and it was on race relations. How do you think race relations are going right now?
Oh, never been better?
Never been better.
Yeah, that's my vote.
Is that your perception as well,
It's not
Jeffy?
my perception. It's never been better. No.
Weird.
It's not my perception.
According to this article, American race relations are in a bad place. Huh.
Oh, really?
Who saw that coming?
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
I will say overall it feels that way. But
it does.
When I'm one-on-one,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a different world.
Yes.
That's true, which is kind of the point of this article.
Oh, there you
Our
go.
perception is it's really bad. The statistics, though, show it's the best it's ever been.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. I don't know that I'd say it was the best. Yes, it is.
Apparently, back in 2012, only 30% of black Americans thought contemporary racism was, quote, a primary detriment to success. Okay? So, blacks, only 30% of blacks believed that you had a hard time, doing anything or getting ahead in society because you were black. Just 30% thought that. Now, 68% feel that way.
Man.
And they're not alone. A major recent poll of Asian Americans found that just 31% of Asian Americans between 35 and 54 feel like they belong and are accepted in the U.S. and just 27% of those 25 to 34. An amazing 81% of Asian Americans between 18 and 24 don't feel they belong and are accepted in America, even though that group is the wealthiest and least disliked large group in the United States. That's really something. They're doing well. I mean, Asians own a lot of businesses. I mean, the stats show it. They do well in education. I'll never forget my daughter's graduation ceremony in Houston years ago. And in the program or whatever it is they hand out as you go in, showed the top 10 in the class. Every single one of them was Asian American.
Yeah, but they don't belong.
All of them. But they don't belong. And they're not doing well. So anyway, national data on race relations shows that same troubling trend. In 2001, the proportion of American adults describing relations between large racial ethnic groups as good. 70% among blacks, 62% among whites. In 2021, it was 33% of blacks. So it went from 70 to 33 thinking race relations were good. And it went from 62% among whites to 43%.
What could have happened to drive that division?
Isn't that interesting?
What could have happened?
I mean, after all, we had a black president for 8 years. So it should be better, right?
Definitely should be better, except that it's not because they weren't.
Right.
And I say they because Michelle and Barack both drove a hammer.
They sure did.
Race relations.
Yes, they did. And Biden has accentuated all of that. Now, in a comprehensive 2021 paper called The Social Construction of Racism.
Oh, this sounds good.
The Manhattan Institute's Eric Kaufman makes the point that less than 10% of Americans currently score as bigots when tested.
Thank you.
10%.
Less.
The percentage of Americans who believe blacks shouldn't push themselves where they're not wanted, or that it's acceptable to discriminate when selling a family home, are around 9 or 10% as well. 7 to 9% of white Americans would refuse, only 7 to 9 would refuse to vote for a qualified same-party candidate who is black or Hispanic. Isn't that amazing? 7%.
Because it doesn't matter. We want the best people. This is America, the best people for the job.
Yeah, but governments thrive on power. Mm-hmm. And how do you get power but separate the people? In other words, you tell them that there's an issue and that the only way to solve that issue is to give more power to the government. So they continually find ways to divide us, whether it's on
They've done that really well.
Right.
Yes,
It could be on income inequality. Mm-hmm. It could be on gender stuff. It could be on this race stuff. They've got to keep us in a constant state of division so that they, therefore, can say, look, we're the answer to your problems. We're going to solve this, even where no problems exist.
Well, that's why we voted for Joe Biden, for the unity.
That's right.
Yeah. He was going to unify the country, wasn't he? Yeah, good job. Good job on that, Joe. It's been great.
He unified other countries against us.
Yes, he
China,
sure did.
Russia.
He did do that.
He sure did.
Yeah, we didn't know that was what he meant at the time, but we've seen it become reality anyway. So, one more stat. It's fairly interesting. 7 to 9% of Americans would refuse to vote for a qualified candidate who is black or Hispanic. However, 19% would not work for a practicing Mormon.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Oh, man. Isn't that's a good word for it.
That is
awesome.
That is awesome.
Isn't that something?
I mean, I don't blame him.
Hold on.
How could you? How could
that's
you blame him?
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Hold on a second. Can we go back for just one moment where you talked about 7%, you said,
would refuse to vote for a qualified same-party candidate who is black or Hispanic.
Okay, I want to know that stat given to blacks, say. I want that in reverse. I want to hear
I'd
that
like to see
answer
that too.
for whites.
Yeah.
Would you vote for a qualified candidate that was white?
Well,
why is this question only asked of whites then?
Well, because you can only be racist if you're white.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I got it now.
The power dynamic, Keith.
And thank you. And there's plenty of white people in office that have been voted in. So black people must be voting for them as well. So get over it. Black people will vote for white people.
And so 19% of Americans won't vote for or won't work for a Mormon.
A practicing Mormon.
Right, a practicing.
What a strange question.
If you're a Mormon who hasn't been to church in 10 years, I guess that they're fine with that. But don't be a practicing one.
Did they ask that of all faiths?
You were born in Utah?
That's a weird question.
Isn't it? It's really weird.
And that one seems oddly micro-focused.
Yes.
For, say, our employer.
I mean, Mormons take a beating.
What question is that?
Mormons take a beating, man.
Oh, no kidding. Yes.
I mean.
Yeah. We take a licking and keep on ticking. So.
Just saying.
What was it, 1976 or 77?
Oh, here we go.
Missouri finally.
The Missouri law.
Stupid Missouri law.
Finally.
Every Mormon pulls out the Missouri law. How many? They weren't killing people.
That's not true.
Just because the
Only
law.
Pat brings that one out. Are you kidding me?
No.
You've heard that?
That is a talking
Well,
point.
now you know why. 19% wouldn't vote or work for a practicing Mormon.
Did they ask?
You'd be a little defensive too under those circumstances.
That's amazing to me that people would actually think that.
I don't want anybody to die, but it would have been interesting if there had been a murder in like 1975 and then that law was tested.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
But there wasn't, though, was it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know.
We're going to have to do a little research and see. I know in the 1800s.
When's the last time?
It was definitely in the 1800s, perhaps.
Okay.
But the last time, I don't know. How many people were aware of that law? It's okay to exterminate a Mormon if you want. If you want.
Yeah, there's a qualifier.
Go ahead.
They just murdered that guy who's a Mormon.
Now, if you do it accidentally, you didn't want to, then you're in trouble. Then it's like manslaughter or something.
I'm so glad we're on the other side of 1976 at this point.
Me too. So incredible. All right, 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. It is, though, amazing how in the early 2000s we didn't have that perception.
No, we did
that
not.
Everything was upside down with race relations.
No, we did not.
We hated each other, that we were at each other's throats. And then, after what should have been a transcendent racial presidency, it got worse. And much worse.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. Because what a wasted opportunity.
Man. Absolutely wasted opportunity.
Sad and
pathetic. Could have
pathetic.
come together stronger and more powerful than ever.
Yes.
And yet,
no. But no. Which brings us to the Washington State Shield Bill. Have you guys heard about this?
I have not. What is the Shield Bill?
The Washington State Senate passed a bill previously voted on by the House, so I believe they passed it as well. It would prohibit Washington law enforcement agencies or the courts from enforcing other states' laws regarding abortion or gender surgeries.
Wait. So yeah, if you come to Washington and you want gender surgery and your state wouldn't allow it, nobody can stop you from doing it.
Okay.
Opponents warn that the legislation, which will take effect as soon as Jay Inslee, the governor, signs it, could instigate retaliatory responses from those states. This is great because it pits state against state now. Won't that be fun? Seems like that happened once in our history before. Can't remember.
But is that actually happening? I mean, is that a problem?
It's going to be when you've got these kinds of laws where, we're not going to recognize Texas law here. I mean, that's one of the great things about this country is that, you can go state to state. You have an
overall law. Yeah, you can travel state to state.
And you're still just protected by the U.S. Constitution. But the states are changing that, or trying to at least.
Well, I don't know. Does this not fall under the 10th Amendment, where you can make laws within your own state?
Yeah.
Perhaps you could make that case.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid law, and I'm sure that someone could argue their way out of that, but I just feel like that's Washington State is crazy, and this is just more evidence.
Jim McCune in the Washington State Senate said this is going to lead to the biggest lawsuit you will ever see in the state. He said it's another bill in a long line that supports genital mutilation of children and
now it's children.
erodes the family relationship.
Yes, and that's an issue though. If it's a child situation.
So parents that are able to bring their kids into Washington State for.
Yes. This is what happened with the Texas dad.
So what?
And the wife drags the kid to California.
Yeah, and there's nothing he can do now.
Right. I mean, that's the same thing, is it not?
Basically, I would say so.
I mean, you're taking away parental rights. But man, that's a tough one. That's going to end up in front of the court.
Yeah,
Supreme Court. Probably.
It's tough. And he's right. There's going to be lawsuits by the hundreds, probably. But Washington has just gone down the tube. You know, they're equally liberal and progressive as California, maybe even more so now. I mean, they've really gone off the deep end.
When is Washington State going to separate from itself? Because you always hear Eastern Washington is so conservative. Yes.
And do the same thing that's happening in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me tell you about a new movie coming out on Friday by the same people who made God's Not Dead and Unplanned. Both of those. Well, I haven't seen God's Not Dead, but I understand it was very good. And I did see Unplanned. Excellent movie. Highly recommend it. Now, they've done Nefarious. This is based on Steve Deace's book.
I know that guy.
Yeah? Many do.
Yeah, he's pray for him because he's got
some health issues, right?
Yeah, he went to the emergency room the other night.
Kind of bad infection. How was it manifesting itself? He was just in pain?
Was it his chest?
Yeah, he was having a fever and not unable to breathe and struggling to stay upright.
Yeah, and they had to remove something.
It sounded like they had to take a tumor out of it.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Yeah, it's
apparently he's back today.
Yeah,
so
bacterial
back on the air.
Infection of unknown origin.
I mean, who among us hasn't had that?
Right. Well, okay.
So, I actually probably have.
Welcome to the party, Steve.
I know. Yeah. But anyway, hopefully, our thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully, he'll recover quickly. But if you haven't read the book or seen the movie yet, it's kind of along the lines of C.S. Lewis's The Screw Tape Letters. You're going to love this. It opens on Friday nationwide. Find it. If you can't find it, alert your cinema.
Yeah, they've more than they almost doubled the number of theaters. I think they're pushing 1,000 theaters now nationwide. So
nice,
good stuff.
Okay, so Friday, get your tickets. You can get them now at whoisnefarious.com. That's whoisnefarious.com.
Pat Gray.
A quick tweet here from Ape Lincoln regarding the elephant who peeled the banana.
Oh, yeah.
And ate it.
Pang Fa.
Yeah, Pang Fa.
The Berlin Zoo.
Bananas with his trunk.
Her.
Amazing. Her. Okay, her. With her trunk.
Misgender.
Do we know that those are the elephant's
yes, we
pronouns?
Do. Yes.
Okay. She, her.
Yes.
Right.
Pang
all right.
Fa.
So Ape Lincoln tweets, next thing you know, that elephant is going to be demanding its poached egg on the salmon Benedict. So don't try to bring it to me on the side.
Right.
It must be on the salmon.
Yeah. And if
when you're having a salmon Benedict.
Recognize that reference, go and watch yesterday's Pat Gray Unleashed. Oh, boy. Hey, we have breaking news. Fox News is going to host the first GOP debate. What's the date? It just says that Fox News is going to host it.
Probably haven't nailed down a date yet.
Stay tuned to Fox News.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
They're going to host the first...
It's in August.
What a surprise. Wait, the GOP is going to have a debate on Fox?
I mean...
Who saw that coming?
What a crazy world, am I right?
It is. It's crazy. Something sad, yet funny. Apparently, they're selling some interesting meat in stores right now.
Yeah, tough times,
All right. They're selling delicious meat in the stores.
You all right?
Check this out.
I don't have a list, so there we go.
I'm really about to show y'all
why we need to move out of America.
Got to move
Look
out of
at this.
America. Look what they're selling.
They're selling lion chops. They're taking exotic animals and cutting them up and putting them in our local grocery stores. Look, I'm in Safeway. They're putting lion meat in the grocery stores. Lion meat.
Yo.
Is she serious or is that a
She's
joke?
totally serious.
That can't be real.
And these people vote too.
That is incredible.
Are you kidding me?
It's loin chops, not lion chops. Let me eat.
You gotta call your local Safeway.
Maybe she's joking.
Yeah.
I'd like to think she's joking.
She's being
Me too.
sincere. Come on.
Me too. That's a TikTok.
Holy cow.
That's a TikTok go viral video.
Yeah. Well, it probably has.
Can't be right.
Okay.
Lion.
Y'all have more faith in humanity than I do. That's for sure. I mean, they're selling lion meat at Safeway.
Yeah.
You should actually call Safeway.
To be honest, I'm not opposed to them selling lion meat. I don't care.
I can't imagine it being tasty and tender, but if it's the only thing around, I'm going to eat it.
Right.
If that's the only choice, it's either starve to death or eat lion meat.
Good way for zoos to make a little extra cash. Sell a lion
and here's
or two.
the thing: no one supports zoos more than you do.
Thank you.
Jeffy.
Thank you.
And that's a well-known fact. It's a documented historical fact.
That is.
And if you're tired of potholes in your neighborhood, on your streets,
Fort Worth.
if you live in Fort Worth, Texas, here's an interesting way to deal with the problem. There's a guy in Hopewell, Virginia, who had a gigantic pothole in his street, and I guess they contacted the city multiple times.
Yes, he did.
And
He
they
tried.
did nothing about it.
He kept running into it, and as Jeffy would say, then drive around it. But
it's so big you almost can't.
Yeah.
So he just planted
Very
a tree, and they
frustrating.
would take the tree up, right?
He planted
originally,
a tree
city,
in the pothole.
The
That's
city,
a good
instead
idea.
of fixing the pothole, the city came and took the tree out.
And then not until it went viral with the Christmas lights on it and stuff like that, that finally the city was like, all right, we got it. And so they paved over the pot. So that's what you do. You can actually contact the Arbor Day Foundation, and they'll send you, I think, 12, 20, I don't know what it is, total saplings. All right. And now they're a lot smaller than that little guy, so you'd have to.
If people in Fort Worth did this, we'd have trillions of trees.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere. You wouldn't be able to drive. Fort Worth would be a forest.
Yes. No kidding.
That's how. So I don't recommend it in some locales.
Tree
such
City,
as
USA.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth,
Jeez.
Texas.
And it's getting worse. I mean, the construction that's been going on since we arrived in 2012. Since we got here, it's 11 years now. In some areas, that construction is still going on. Plus, they've added more.
Yeah, they've added more.
You talk about job
they've
security.
Finished some, they've finished some of that construction, and then they're adding on to it. Amazing.
Yeah, how about finishing one location, then you start a new one, but unfinished projects continue to just sit there.
Honestly, though, if you're on the outskirts of Fort Worth and you want to know whether or not you're still in the city limits, it's if you're bouncing on the roads like you're in Beirut or something. You're like, oh, I'm still in the city, and then it smooths out, and you're like, oh, I guess we're outside. of Fort
I must
Worth
be in
now.
Arlington or Dallas or
Not Dallas. Bad example.
Not Dallas. Yeah, that is a bad example.
I'm in the county now. Yeah, exactly.
All right, 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. What have we left undone here? Told you about that. Told you about that. Oh, U.S. Special. That's what I meant to talk about. Boots on the ground. In Ukraine. It has
they
already
admitted it in some of those. Was it in the leaked paperwork that they pushed out? Yeah,
So they were forced to admit it because they weren't going to. So Biden's promise not to deploy boots on the ground goes right down the drain.
When I saw that last night, I thought, man, how many times have we mentioned it on this show that we couldn't believe that there weren't boots on the ground?
And sure enough, there
oh my
are.
gosh, hello, there you go.
And these leaked documents were posted on a gamer's website, chat room, something 6 weeks ago, I think it was. I mean, this is
Yep. So it's not just us either. It's us, the UK, France, Latvia, and the Netherlands have all deployed special forces into Ukraine. Now, is it a gigantic group? No, I guess there's a total of 97.
It was under 100,
supposedly.
yeah.
97 special forces there.
Still, though.
And many of them are from the UK. But how are any of our troops there? We've been promised you're not going to do this. None of us want it. I mean, sending them all the weaponry and the money is one thing. But devoting our lives, our U.S. forces to it, which we've done so many times in the past, and it doesn't work out well, and we're all sick and tired of it. You know, we're just coming out of the longest war in U.S. history in Afghanistan. How long did it take us to extract ourselves from that? And then it was a debacle and disaster when we finally did. This is exactly how it all began in Vietnam.
Yeah.
We sent special advisors. Okay, just a limited number of special forces. This is just to train and help them out in extreme circumstances. Other countries are doing the same thing, so it'll just be temporary. We're not getting into anything. There'll be no boots on the ground. Pretty soon we had 500,000 troops there. This is how it starts. We got to let them know this is not happening.
It's not shocking at all, though.
It's not.
It's depressing.
When I saw the story, I thought, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Confirmation once again.
Yep.
Wow. All right. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Traffic and weather together every 2 minutes on the ones. Coming up all morning long. You don't have to wait 10 minutes like others make you wait. Just
Thank
the
goodness.
two. Just every 2 minutes on the ones.
That's why we choose the Big Frog on our morning drive.
Thank you. Exactly right. Got some tweets here from Pat Unleashed. Squatching Duck tweets, lion chops. Not loin chops, mind you. These are lion chops.
Thank you.
Tender, juicy, and flavorful. So,
all right.
Yeah, get them while they last. I think they're on sale this week in the post-Easter sale. That always accompanies,
the
lion chops and Easter just go together like peanut butter and chicken.
Wait,
they go together.
Yeah, a lot of families are really changing their traditions.
Yeah,
away from ham.
Yeah,
to lion
for
Easter.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah, it's less salty.
Lion. It's what's for dinner.
Roar.
Nicole Archer 2.0. Lion makes a fine meal.
Okay. Gross.
Tarped Giblets tweets Forest Worth.
Oh, yeah. See, look at that.
Yeah.
Forest, like fort.
Okay. Right.
You just slide that.
Get it?
Oris.
Nice. And then from Johnny Ringo. There's a hole in the street where the tree once was.
There's a hole in the sky where the tree once was. Somebody's making money.
That's
Love
great.
that.
That's awesome.
And from Jeffy's 18 bougie condiments, the trick is to plant an endangered tree or bush so
That's
they
a
can't
genius.
remove it from the pothole.
That's a good call.
That is.
That's a good call. They have to put in a roundabout around the tree.
Man, there's a lot of those going in. At least, I don't know if that's a DFW thing.
Well,
I think it's everywhere.
Everything is becoming the roundabout now.
It's kind of like in Europe.
Yeah. In Europe, they do roundabouts, so you don't have to stop.
Yeah. The problem is
a lot of people don't know how to use them. That's the major problem.
That is an issue.
Don't know how they come up to it. And they're like,
issue.
I don't know what's happening here.
I'll just stop.
I'll just stop in the middle of it.
Or I'll just go and see what happens, who I slam into.
Now, you know how in DFW, it's typically just too wide. So it's pretty tame. Right? It's not over in Europe. It's not like driving around. Oh, look, kids, there's Big Ben. There's one now they just built that's 3 wide. And I'm like, no, they're not ready for this, y'all.
Wow. We haven't mastered the 2 yet. Don't give us 3.
I did see one that was like 2.5 because it's got a bike lane.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. And some of them have turn lanes, too. So if you're going to turn
so
right.
you're going around, you got to stick around in that lane.
Yeah.
And if you're in doubt, just keep driving in a circle till everybody's gone. and then make your move.
There you
That's
go.
a good safety tip. Thank you,
go.
Keith. Yeah. Also, we had that insurrection in Tennessee, and then we had insurrection part 2, which also happened. But nobody cares. I mean, it doesn't matter that they took over the state house in Tennessee. That's nothing like happened on January 6th.
Don't you even try to compare
Don't even try to compare it. No.
Stop it.
So one of the expelled Democrats who really kind of led that demonstration and encouraged people to take over, Tennessee House member Justin Pearson, back in 2016.
Yes.
A little different feel to him. Here's what he had to say in 2016. Compared to that to today. And it went a little something like this.
Okay.
Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year.
Okay.
One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical
Seems reasonable,
middle.
right?
Yeah.
Like the
NRA and gun lobbyists might win.
Oh, wait, who's this?
But that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, a little different.
Drop the radical pose
for the radical means or ends or something.
Van Jones. He just went the other way there.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, so there he is. What a fraud.
Well, he's back now anyway, right?
He's back.
They let him back in.
They let him back in, right?
Yep.
I suppose eventually they'll let them all back in, would be my guess.
They are.
Meantime, the EPA is said to be proposing rules meant to drive up electric car sales.
I don't like it.
Tenfold. Yeah, we're just going to force the issue.
Well, yeah, we're not going to make gas-powered vehicles. We're not going to make any gas-powered any kind of gas-powered engines. So, you wanted to drive somewhere? Well, you'll have to use a battery-powered.
Yeah.
Did you steal those?
I stole them from my wife.
You have officially stolen those glasses.
Yes, and I think they look very becoming on me.
Actually, they don't look bad.
Yeah.
No, they don't look bad.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like I'm wearing my wife's glasses.
No.
Okay.
I said they don't look bad. And so hold on a second. This is and Pat Heads will appreciate this. So now I believe I am charged with printing up stories with smaller print so that we can see those glasses at least once per day. Yes.
Well, at least when the smaller print comes, I'll be ready for it.
Yeah. It's a good look, Pat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. The Biden administration is planning some of the most stringent auto pollution limits in the world.
Well, in Europe, well, in the United States.
That's where we're at. That is where we're at.
Yeah. In France, they're saying, well, the United States, they've got more stringent pollution limits. Designed to ensure that all electric cars make up as much as 67% of new passenger vehicles sold in the country by, get this, 2032.
I mean, this is madness.
That would actually be a quantum leap for the U.S., where just 5.8% of vehicles sold last year were all electric. And it would force Biden's earlier ambitions, of course, to have all electric cars account for half sold in the country by 2030.
And is the country ready for that? We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Get ready for it.
Yeah.
We can't afford not to do this.
Right.
And there's going to be such a market for your regular gas guzzler vehicles that you are now going to artificially jack the price up of those because people aren't going to want electric vehicles as much as they think they're going to want them. This is madness.
It's insane. And they're going to find out, what kind of insanity it is because it's going to be an absolute disaster.
It sure is.
It would be the federal government's most aggressive climate regulation and would propel the U.S. to the front of the global effort.
Well, in the United States.
Jeez. This is just part of our committing national suicide.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely. And well, at least we're not the only Western nation that's committing suicide on this front, this green
We're
energy
not?
front. No. Germany was going to shut down the last of their nuclear plants, but when Russia cut off the heating oil, they were like, oh, crap, I guess we'll keep this thing going on through the winter. So Saturday this week, a few days from now, they will shut down their last nuclear power plant in Germany because because winter's over, and I guess winter doesn't come back every year.
Oh,
so
Is that
so
a new
this is
thing?
the last winter Germany will ever have.
Wow.
So it worked out conveniently for them.
That's awesome.
Huh.
The West is just idiotic.
Well, we're coming apart at the seams. How else could you put it? That's one of the reasons that Jason Whitlock has put together this Fearless Army roll call in Nashville this weekend. Our nation, as we mentioned, just being torn apart, and we just can't go on like this. So Jason has set up this big get-together for men and wants men of God to rise up to the occasion and become who God has made them to be. And so it's an all-day event in Nashville that will encourage men to put on the full armor of God and take a stand against the evil forces destroying American culture. You're going to hear great speeches from Jason, several other special guests, but time is running short. It's already Wednesday. This happens this weekend on Saturday. So join the hundreds of men who are going to be there in Nashville Saturday for this important conference. Tickets are selling out fast. Please secure yours right now. Go to fearlessarmyrollcall.com. All one word, of course. fearlessarmyrollcall.com. Tickets are running out fast.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
As part of the disintegration, we get a trans ballerina now. This is a woman who used to be a man, right? I don't want to dead gender this person, of course, but
so this video's been going around on social media. Jeffy, I'm sure you've seen it. Where this,
you have seen it.
Beautiful. So this person was allowed entry into what's the school on there? It's called some prestigious.
My wife's specs.
There
here.
it is.
All right.
See what we did there.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Royal Academy of Dance.
Yeah, sure. So, so that video's been going around. So somebody took one of their students, I guess, and kind of synced them up with the music.
Okay.
To show you the difference between.
Oh.
Yeah, because you said it earlier in the show. Merit is no longer a thing.
No, it's not a thing.
It's not.
It's
so let's play this video. So side by side. All right, so there you go.
Look at the grace and beauty.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The floor actually shook on the right there. You noticed?
Oh, yeah.
There it keeps going it.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. Not even on time. Look at this.
Well, this got practice to do.
Okay. So he started ballet, I think, at age 33, I think I read.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken.
And how old is this person now?
I don't know. Obviously a natural, so it really doesn't matter.
Obviously not.
That's awesome.
And that's what we're supposed to be saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Wow, that was beautiful, graceful, elegant, just wonderful. Just a wonderful performance. And
we are.
I, for one,
we're in hell.
Applaud.
This is hell. Yep.
What a lovely routine.
Thank
you so much for presenting it. Really tremendous.
Good stuff. Yeah.
And don't say otherwise.
No.
Or you're a hateful bigot. I don't want to hear it from you. I really don't.
Oh, that's me.
She had the giblets for that. Or not.
Whoa.
Hey-oh.
Or not.
Thank you. I see what you
yes,
did there.
Sir.
Yeah.
Giblet pun.
Because she probably does have giblets. Right? Probably has actual giblets.
I think she got
I'm
through
not
the full
willing.
transition.
Kayla, do not put that video back up there because I don't even want to take a close look.
Well, I did while the video was on.
Look at that grace. Am I right?
Grace and beauty. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there could be some serious tuckage going on there. Yeah.
That was the Nike new slogan. Just tuck it.
Again, elegant, graceful, lovely.
So
Yes,
you think,
very lovely.
which word applies more there? Grace or beauty?
I don't think you could.
I think they're equal.
Flip a coin.
Yeah,
Flip a
yeah,
coin.
I think, yeah,
Sure.
they're equal.
I don't even want to flip a coin. I think you just need to use them
you
both.
just- right.
Yeah.
Use them both.
That's right.
All right.
But man, in some cases, this is just really sad. What we're allowing to happen to our children, and when you try to defend them, you're a hateful bigot, and it's pathetic.
They've really conflated that, man.
Oh, they have.
They've driven that.
They're not even moved by the fact that we're trying to protect children. No. Oh, you're standing behind the children thing. No, when did we ever say that this was a problem before? Did we ever?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Have we ever said adults should not have the right to change their sex if they want to?
No.
Go for it. You're an adult. I mean, that is at its heart libertarianism. Let people do what they want to do.
And the drag queen thing. Nobody had a problem with drag queens. We never talked about drag queens. We knew they were there. We knew they exist. We knew they perform. But they were performing for other adults, which was whatever. Fine.
Right.
Do it if you want.
And get ready for this new group called Let America Read. And it's a group pushing for the books. They're saying, hey, you're
Hollywood
banning books. Hollywood is on board.
Douchebags.
You've got
Julia
Roberts is on board with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, we got to stop banning books.
Nobody's banning books.
Nobody's banning books. We're banning pornography.
Wow.
We're banning kids' access to your pornographic illustrated books. It's just... This world is insane.
Yeah.
And so get ready for that group. You're going to start seeing a lot of Let America Read.
And here's another example of what's happening to our kids. Check this out.
Sad.
My name is Wyatt, and this is my voice 1 month on T.
My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 10 weeks on T. My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 12 weeks on T. My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 4 months on T. My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 5 months on T. My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 7 months on T. My name's Wyatt, and this is my voice 8 months on T.
Oh, it's working.
Transformation.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you can't go back. I really hope that you're happy. They never do seem happy, though.
On T, obviously testosterone. So after just 8 months, the change is amazing, isn't it? Yep. The change early on was pretty amazing. What was it like? I don't know, 3 months, maybe?
4 months, yeah.
And
you could really
her
notice.
voice really changed.
Yeah, you could really notice after that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, my gosh, now they've got the celebrities behind them. They've got, again, like you said, Jeffrey, that's all they've done is conflate this whole thing.
Yeah,
and now, you don't want trans kids to be able to play sports. Shut up. You got Megan Rapinoe out there tweeting out. What was it?
I wonder how she would feel if a professional soccer player, male, identified as a female, and played against her and just kicked her ass.
Oh, wait. Well, you mean like kids already have? Boys already have?
We've talked about this before. They came to Dallas. The national women's team.
Yes.
Came to Dallas, got their ass kicked by a group of 14-year-old boys.
Yeah, it was under 15.
5-2 or something, 6-1. I mean, they got crushed.
But I'm specifically taking jobs away from her.
Yeah,
as a professional soccer player,
you're
and
saying,
going up against her.
Yeah. So that's a great point. So you're saying if the women's national team had dudes come out and replace her after all that they have done,
how you liking it now?
Right?
Yeah,
I thought you wanted equality.
She'd be fine with that. I'm sure she'd be perfectly fine with it. Today, here's what she tweeted. Today, politicians in D.C. are claiming to protect women's sports by pushing a trans and intersex sports ban. Call your congressional rep today to say women's sports need protection from unequal pay, sexual abuse, and lack of resources, not from trans kids. Jeez.
We don't want kids to be sterilized, Megan. Is that okay? Can we stand on that side?
No. No, actually, you cannot.
Okay.
Speaking of all this, it's been amazing to see the sheer numbers of people who identify this way now, because it used to be a tiny fraction. LGBTQIA2+, the share of the U.S. population in 2014, okay, that's all of those people together in one group was 7.2%. So you got gays, lesbians, bisexual people, trans.
No, yeah, that's in 2022.
Yeah, well,
right?
the 2014, the number was 7.2% overall.
Uh-huh.
Then you see the rise here, according to this graphic. Wow. In Gen Z kids,
almost 20%.
It's 19.7%.
Wow. You collate that chart. Let's see, we got that chart up. The social media. I mean, social media has become so prevalent in those same years.
Yeah, it's true. Which it shows the social contagion that social media is.
Yeah.
It's 11.2% for millennials. The next group, the green category, is for Generation X, and that is 3.3%. The next group, baby boomers. It's 2.7%. It's 1.7 for
those bastard traditionalists.
Traditionalists.
So hold that up there for just a second. Let's see, LGBT.
I hate those traditionalists.
Man, me too. They're bigots, all of them.
I mean, shouldn't those numbers, in
Hate
theory,
mongers.
be...
Well, they should be consistent.
Similar.
Yeah, they should be consistent.
Wow.
But they're not.
Stunning. So 1 out
That's
of every
incredible.
5 Gen Z identifies as LGBT.
My gosh.
That is unreal.
So that's the current generation that's just been born, since 2001?
1997 to 2004.
Okay.
Gen Z.
Holy cow. 19.7. Almost 20% of them identify in that group. I wonder why. Could it be because that's the trendy, popular,
absolutely.
And how many of them
attention getter
would not stay in that lifestyle if left alone?
Yeah.
Instead of going to the doctors that are so eager to butcher them. It's such a money-making scheme, too. That's the thing. There is so much money to be made in this realm, and that's what's doing it. I am curious what percentage of that breakdown, because, see, they co-opted to the point where even this chart is putting lesbians, gays, and bisexuals with the trans community. I want to see that extrapolated lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans. You know, like there's a difference between being gay and going to a doctor and having your genitals mutilated. And so they have successfully lumped that into that statistic. What a world.
And it's a group who, traditionally in the past was considered to be, you've got mental issues, right? It's gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Right, and
you can't call it that now.
And Pat, it is no shock that a lot of these kids have, autistic or they're outsiders or they're preyed upon by this evil movement.
Yeah.
This trans movement.
Just the extremists
are going after these kids.
Yep.
And they are screwing them up for life. And what I mean by that is once you get this chemical castration, I mean, you can't have kids. You're now, I genuinely hope Wyatt, the girl transitioning to a boy, showing off the voice change in the last year, I hope that individual is happy. But how many times have you referenced the statistic of how many of these kids end up committing suicide?
41%. Ooh. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's
just doing irreparable harm.
Tragic.
Leave them alone.
And we don't even know, because this is a fairly new situation.
Yeah, they admit it.
We don't even really know what the long-term effects are going to be for the people. Even if you pause, even if you stop using the drugs that are stopping your normal development, and you do that for a while, and then you restart, well, we don't know what that's going to do to you in 10 or 15 years. We don't know.
Yep.
How many people before this time period were taking puberty blockers? How many were trying to stunt nature's natural course?
Yeah.
Not that many.
I'm guessing.
Not that many.
And I can't remember if it was
very few. I guess like 2.
2.
I can't remember if it was the regular show or overtime. We played that. I remember it was a 4-box thing, and there was a lead doctor, one of these things, who admitted they're basically, this generation is guinea pigs. We really don't know long term what's going to happen to them because they've just never gone down this road. And here we are, they are experimenting on our children.
And we're not supposed to even notice or worry about it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's none of your business. Leave them alone. Let them do whatever they want to the children. Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds acceptable. None of us want the fire and brimstone to be raining down from the sky. That's why we care about it. It's one of the many reasons we care about it, but it's a big one.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
All right. We've got much more for you coming up in overtime, and then back here tomorrow, Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.